Hi everyone, it's Allison, and I'm doing another couple of days of the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge 2019 by Ethany. If you're just tuning in, you should check out Ethany's channel. Although she's taking a little break in January, she's got tons of great tarot resources and super fun videos. So I'm going to combine a couple of prompts today. And they are day 9 and 10. So it's 2 minutes to midnight on day 9 where I am. I had a really busy day, really busy week actually. But I really wanted to get this in. And then day 10. So day 9 is my tarot goals for 2019. So that won't take me very long. That's pretty straightforward. I wasn't on the depth year bandwagon for some reason. Not that I didn't agree with it, I just didn't hear about it until recently. So, but I think that was great. Sure, I'll do a depth year. I haven't really looked into it or thought about it too much, but I do have some specific goals, and maybe I'll be able to align that once I investigate the depth year thing a little bit more. So my goals for this year are sort of like tarot adjacent almost. It's to use the tarot to do just other things. So I really want to meditate more for my health, for my mental well-being, just because for improved performance in my job and with my family, and it's just supposed to be all around good for you. But I'd like to use the tarot as a way into that. So to meditate on images, because often I get really worked up about whether or not I'm meditating correctly. Am I doing it right? Is this it? Is this meditating? Am I doing it now? Which I guess is probably natural, but I feel like if I have something in my mind to focus on, to look at an image and then be able to close my eyes and just think about that image, maybe it'll quiet my brain down a little bit faster and take away this anxiety that I'm some kind of meditation imposter. I don't know if anybody else ever gets that, but or prevents me from falling asleep. Those are my two extremes. One is that I'm just a total imposter and I don't know what I'm doing. Two, sleepy time. Bye for Allison. So I really want to do that. Also, I want to be consistent with a daily draw and then writing in a journal. This is my 2019 journal. And what I decided for this year, because I love to write. I love it, but I have to write a lot as part of my job. And when I get home, often my brain is just fried. And I just don't do it. So, and the other thing too is I'm like, oh, everything needs to have like a special place. Like there needs to be a special journal for everyday things to remember, or, daily draws or whatever. And I've decided this year this is the journal that I write stuff in. And I carry it around with me. And if I want to write something to remember, like I made a list of things to remember for Christmas next year, because our Christmas was really busy and we kind of overlooked a couple of things we want to be traditions. So I've got like, don't forget, or when things go on sale that I might get as gifts. And that's an early entry in this journal because I got it before the new year. So I just really want to write more. So not only just personal journaling, but also I want to write more creatively. And I'm hoping that I can do that through tarot as well. And actually that's going to hook into, I was going to do Oracle tomorrow on the correct day, but I've only got one to talk about. So I'm going to talk about that tonight too. I've just decided now. So those are my goals, to really be consistent with my tarot practice, and then also use it to feed these other creative pursuits in my life and meditation and those kinds of things. So that's my goal. We'll see how I do. And then decks that I want to work with in 2019. And this is a bit silly because I want to work with lots of decks. Like, again, I'm trying not to repeat things, but my love affair with the Naked Heart Tarot continues. And of course, all my Rider-Waite-Smiths, I'm not even going to talk about those because I'll definitely work with those. And my Anna Kay that I just love so much, and Halloween Tarot and all these things. But with the exception of the first one, I really want to talk about the first one because I just haven't seen one thing about it. I'm sure there must be things on YouTube and I'm not really active on Instagram, and maybe that's why I miss a bunch of stuff. But this deck I want to work with in 2019. It's fairly new to me, whereas the other ones are not at all. But I just think it's really cool, and I want to work with it because I want to use it in all of its different capacities. So having teased that, this is a deck called the Fox Tarot. And this is an Etsy deck, and the artist is Canadian. I'm always drawn to, is that right side up? No. Canadian artists, because then less shipping, and just, I don't know, I heart Canadian artists. Good job, Canada. So this is by Taylor, I'm not sure how to say her last name, Haigh, Haigh, and she's from British Columbia. This is the second printing in 2018, and she's actually got a Kickstarter on right now. So if you like the look of this deck, I'll link the Etsy shop below, and I'll also link to her current Kickstarter. I'm not sure how much longer it's going on for, even though I'm on the fence about the Kickstarter just because I haven't had a chance to really get into this one yet. And I imagine I'll probably be able to get it through her Etsy shop. So I don't need to jump on it right away because I'm trying not to acquire too many decks all at once. But this deck is very cool. It's a black and white deck. This is the back. So not entirely reversible, but I don't read reversals, so I don't care about that. And actually, I know just from browsing the little white book that comes with it, which is here, and it's a good little white book, thicker than your standard one, full sentences, as well as some keywords, how to read the cards, different symbolism. There's images in the little white book too, so that's pretty cool. There's a lot of information jam-packed in this deck. And I want to apologize right now if the creator happens to watch this and I misrepresent the deck in some way because it's just so new to me. I apologize. I just haven't had the chance to really work with it yet, and I haven't had it for very long. But it's super cool. And one of the conceits of this deck is that it's got the reverse of the card has a planetary or moon or astrological connection. And the cards, while they clearly have a right side up, they're pretty cool to look at both ways. And the neat thing about this deck is it says in the book that the author herself, she doesn't read reversals. So it's like a twofer, right? Because if you wanted to just read, to do a layout with planetary and moon influences and astrological influences and look at those meanings, you would lie them all out upside down and then take this meaning instead. And while I look at it, it is sort of reversed. Like the fox is upside down, but the keyhole's right side up when you've got Uranus right side up. Sorry, did I mention it was midnight? What a dumb juvenile joke. Anyway, Uranus is right side up. Oh boy. So they're still in order. That's how new this deck is. Again, the holidays were super busy. The Magician, Mercury, the High Priestess, and then the Moon. So there are correspondences. I should say I don't know very much about astrology. I don't know what I know what sign I am, but I can never remember what the other ones are, unless someone like I know really closely knows what their sign is, so I can be like, oh, you're a Leo or whatever, and because I know when their birthday is. But I think this would be a really fun way to, oops, sorry, I'm really bad at this, to learn this deck. So, and the images are simple, but very full of symbolism. You can tell it's a real labor of love. And I won't go into it now because we're already at 8.5 minutes. But if you go onto her Etsy shop, oh, I love the Chariot. I love that one with Cancer. If you go on her shop, sorry, let's choose cards together there. Here's Leo. For Strength. That's a nice one. And all these cool little symbols I need to look into. If you go onto her shop, she's got a really cool story. I also really like that Hermit. I just love Hermit. Oh, I love that card. Wheel of Fortune, the Snake, and all the astrological and elemental signs. So it's really cool. It is a pip deck. So let me just find some... and again, I'm not going to be doing it justice with all the different things in here. So, for example, this is the Seven of Cups, and the cups are linked to moon phases. So, and in the book, there's keywords to all of these things. So if I just wanted to flip the deck over and read the moon phases with the astrological signs, with the planetary signs, I could do that, which is one way the pip is really cool, actually. But there's a lot to study in this deck, a lot to look at. Waxing quarter. Maybe for a while I'll turn it around so it's easier to read. Waxing gibbous. And then we go to the swords, and then there's different astrological signs. And then we go to, oh, do I still have a suit in here? Oh yeah, and then we go to the pentacles, and there's planets. The cardstock is great. It's thick. It's totally matte. It feels fantastic. You could riffle shuffle it probably, although they're smaller than your standard. They're smaller than your standard tarot card, and I just realized that none of the decks I have out tonight are standard tarot card size. Hang on, I have one from my other video. Let's get my Morgan Greer out. As a comparison. So there's a Morgan Greer, and there's there's the Fox Tarot. So it's shorter. Oh God, I'm so bad at this. A little bit shorter and wider. A little more square as a card, but the stock is fantastic. I think it must be 350 or 400 GSM for those people who care about that kind of thing. I'm just really excited. I think it's really cool. And again, I haven't seen anything about it. So check out this creator. The links will be below. This is called, her Etsy shop is called Fox on an Island, like Vancouver Island, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Gabriella, BC is where she lives. I think that's on Vancouver Island. And then there's another deck that I just can't think of right now that she's got a Kickstarter for. Oh, a little fuzz out of there. A bit of pet hair. So check it out. Fox Tarot. There's the box. Okay, so I'm excited to use that one. The other three decks I'm going to talk about tonight, I want to use more this year because I have to decide whether or not I'm going to keep them. They're decks I really like. They sit on my shelf. And partly it's because I get other decks and I get all excited about other decks. I need to deal with that problem I have. But also I want to know why I'm not drawn to them. And I have some different ideas about all of them. I feel like there's a real glare off my forehead. So the first, oh my God, I just totally blanked on the name of this, the Mesquite Tarot. I backed this on Kickstarter when it was a Kickstarter. I don't think it's still a I think you can get it other ways. I see it on Little Red Tarot, stores like that. It's beautiful. I was so jazzed about it when it was on the Kickstarter. I look at it now and I think it's lovely. I don't use it. I don't know. I do wish the cards were bigger. I do love big cards. And these are little. So let's do let's do that. That's the Morgan Greer. And that's the Mesquite. Little babies, which for some people is great. I just have shuffling's not a problem for me. I got humongous hands. I'm like 6 feet tall, so I like big cards, and I cannot lie. But they're gorgeous, and so why don't I use them? I don't know. But this has got to be the year to figure it out because somebody else would adore this deck if I'm not gonna just use the thing. But now that I do this, I want to. So I need to really spend some time with it and just, that's upside down. Oh no, we're not upside down face. I just need to make a decision because it needs love. It's a lovely deck and the creators clearly put so much care into it and it doesn't deserve to sit on my shelf and be ignored. So that is the Mesquite Tarot. And there's a guidebook too that I have. The guidebook is lovely, really, really nice, beautifully written. And a little, oh yeah, I brought it. Didn't bring the book down. Everything's upstairs, but there's the bag. So that's lovely to have a little bag to keep it in. The next one is the Mythic Tarot. Now I managed to, again on Kijiji, get a first edition Mythic for very cheap, $10 I think, which came with a book that I have not cracked. And the cloth, which I don't love the cloth just because it's got like a numbered layout already on it. I'd rather just have a cloth. Max. Sorry. Oh, there he is. Maxie, come here, buddy. Okay, he's gonna guard the house? He's guarding the house from like a squirrel or something. You good? All right. So, Mythic. I'm really excited to have it. I was really inspired by Kellyanne Maddox, who has spoken a few times about how meaningful this deck has been in her life. I think it may have even been her first tarot deck. Um, I love the illustrations. The artwork is beautiful. My knowledge of mythology, look at that. It's rusty. I don't have a ton of mythology language, even though I studied literature. I should have more base than I do, but somehow I just sort of missed those courses. And, I took things in high school and studied a little bit in high school, but not a ton. So I think maybe that intimidates me a little bit. But the cards are gorgeous. And I should try just using the deck, first of all, and not worrying so much about the mythological thing. But then I should also read this book. I should do that. Oh, I love that Empress card too. I mean, that's the iconic one, I think, from this deck. I also have the second edition because I found that at a Goodwill or Value Village, maybe? $6.99. No box, no little white book, nothing. The one with the purple backs. This is the one with the black backs. And I just grabbed the Mythic because I got the whole set, so I should be using it. And if I'm not using it, people want this set and people want this edition. So I can't be so selfish and hoard it if all it's going to do is sit on my shelf. So I really want to use the Mythic this year because, again, when I look at it, I love it. And I don't know why I haven't been more drawn to use it. And the last deck I really wanted to talk about too, because like Fox Tarot, my first one, I never hear anybody talking about this one. And it is really cool. It's called the I'm going to mess this up. Langosta Tarot. Langustil. There's no I in there, so we just Langosta. I don't know where to put the emphasis. Langosta Verlag is the author, the artist, and it's really neat. I found this somebody, clearly a collector, was selling a number of decks on Kijiji, and she was selling a bunch, and not a lot of them really appealed to me, but this one I thought was quite cool. It is a humongous deck. So again, if I put up my Morgan Greer, I'm really bad at lining it up on camera. There. Huge. So even my big hands are like, nah, I could deal with it to be a little smaller. But that's okay. I know why I haven't been pulling this one off the shelf. And it's because I was not experienced enough for it to recognize the different cards. Because the artwork is bright and busy, although it really works for me. I like this artwork a lot. But it would take me a long time to recognize which card was which, especially in the minors. There's the Death card, right? Temperance. Devil, you can see the shackles there. But because it's only Roman numerals, it would take me a long time to figure out what was what. Oh, star, isn't that pretty? I love the colors. Oh, that's a great moon card, isn't it? Again, it's pretty, well, it's not really in order, but I've got a lot of majors happening here. Let's see if we can get to some minors. Just divide the deck and start again. And then the court cards are just, again, they're just shown by symbols. There's not writing on there. So you can see that that's the Queen of Swords. Yeah. See, even it's hard to even know now. Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and then two. Oh, so yeah, I'm still fairly much in order. I must have put them, they weren't in order when I got them, so I must have put them back in order. But I feel like I'm ready to start using this deck. I feel like I can muddle my way through and work on the artwork because I do think it's beautiful. There's also great diversity in this deck. I mean, obviously it's not particularly realistic in its depictions of people, but I'm really tired of supermodels. I love, from what I've seen online, like 50% of Lumina Tarot, and the rest of it doesn't speak to me. Like, I love that guy, little king there. So cute. Let me find out a couple others though. Well, that's a pretty cute little page. So different ages. Card in particular that I'm thinking of that's just so beautiful. Oh, there's the High Priestess. That's an image that when I do search it up online, I see that image come up. Oh, come on now. Oh, look at this Hermit card. Ooh, love. See, whenever I look for one particular image, that's when I screw myself. Hang on. It's worth it. You're gonna love it. I can't wait for you to see it. You're gonna be so happy I showed you. Oh, I think this one's really cool. Like a body, a female body on a woman. It's hard because they're so big. And I see I've talked about it now and I'm not gonna be able to find it and I'm super embarrassed. Oh, it's just this woman and she's so cool and commanding. Oh well, sorry. I'll find another time. Show you another time. You don't need to see it. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm just gonna hold up one because they're so big. I thought about bordering it, but then I think I'd have to write on it probably. And I like the symbols and just the little numbers and the way it's super minimal. The deck came with an autographed card, which is pretty cool. And I think you can still get this deck on Etsy. I'm sorry. I don't think you can on Etsy, but I think you can on eBay is how he's selling it now. I don't know how many he has left. It was initially published in 2008. So it's, 10 years old now, soon to be 11. So if you're interested, I might get on it. I don't know how much, I don't know how often he reprints, if he's planning on reprinting. But take a look because it's groovy, this deck. If you like big colors and I'm excited to work with it. And then I'll talk about my Oracle because I've done 3 videos in one. Hang on, I just over here. The Oracle deck I want to work with more. I've already talked about how I don't really end up working with Oracle decks. I have problems with them. But I really want to work this year with the Sacred Creators Oracle. I think it's beautiful. And because I want this year to be meditative and creative, and I want to write, I think this can really help me in this journey. So maybe do a tarot card pull, Sacred Creators pull, refer to the Sacred Creators guidebook, which is I've started to read and is really good. I do really like it. I don't love all of the cards. Some of them are a little saccharine for my taste, but I'm just going to take them out. The ones that don't work for me, take them out. And also the really marketing ones, I'm going to take those out too. But Sacred Creators Oracle by Chris Ann. She's another Canadian artist. So I'm excited to have 2 Canadian artists on this. And you can still buy this deck from her, I think. And she's got some tarot decks coming out. I backed on Kickstarter that are coming out sometime this year. I'm not entirely sure when, but at some point. So Sacred Creators. So those are all my things. I can't wait to see what other people are going to work with in 2019, hard to believe. And I look forward to all your videos and check below for the links. I'll see what I can find on these decks that are a little more rare so you can track them down if you want. Have a great day.